The average household leaks close to $300,000 over a lifetime, not to one bad decision, but to 7 small ones nobody ever flags. It's not what wealthy people earn, it's what they refuse to spend on. 7 things. And if you're honest with yourself, you're probably doing at least 3 of them right now, quietly, without noticing, every single week. Meet the version of you that's about to change. Let's call him Alex. Same salary you'd expect from a decent job. Same quiet feeling that something isn't adding up. Alex isn't broke. Alex just hasn't been shown where the money actually goes. By the end of this, you'll know exactly where yours does too. 1. Convenience. They could easily provide themselves. Alex grabs takeout on the way home. $20. No big deal, it's one dinner. Except it's not one dinner. It's 52 dinners a year, every year, for the next 30 years. Invested instead at an average 7% annual return, a rough long-term average for the stock market. That same $20 a week turns into tens of thousands of dollars by the time Alex retires. This is compound interest. Your money earns money, and then that money starts earning money too. Here's the part that stings. Wealthy people aren't skipping convenience out of discipline. They're skipping the convenience that quietly costs the most and gives back the least, and this is one of them. Check your last bank statement. It's probably already there. 2. Lifestyle upgrades triggered by other people's choices. Alex's coworker pulls into the parking lot in a car that's 2 years newer than his. And suddenly, Alex's perfectly fine car feels a little smaller than it did that morning. Psychologists have a name for this. It's called hedonic adaptation, sometimes referred to as the treadmill effect. You upgrade your spending to match what's around you, but your satisfaction resets right back to where it started. You're not happier. You're just spending more to feel the same amount of normal. Picture a treadmill built entirely out of other people's purchases, the world's least motivating cardio machine. You can run on it for the rest of your life and never arrive anywhere. And there's no trainer, no playlist, just someone else's new car in the corner of your eye. It shows up in small moments too. A vacation photo online, a renovated kitchen on a group chat. None of it is about Alex's actual life getting worse. His life didn't change at all in the last 10 minutes. Only the comparison did. And that's the part almost nobody catches in the moment. The discomfort isn't coming from lack. It's coming from proximity. Wealthy people feel the same pull Alex does. The difference is they've learned to notice the urge and let it pass before it turns into a decision. 3. Debt that doesn't build anything. 2 roads leave the same starting point. One road is a mortgage on a house that gains value over time. The other is a credit card balance from a night out Alex doesn't even remember anymore, sitting there at an interest rate that's now commonly north of 20% a year. Both are debt, only one of them is working for Alex while he sleeps. Debt used to acquire an asset can move your net worth forward even while you owe money. Debt used to fund a lifestyle moves your net worth backward, whether you feel it happening or not. The tricky part is that both roads can look identical on a monthly statement. Just a number due, a minimum payment, an auto pay that quietly clears it. Nothing about the bill itself tells you which direction it's actually pulling you. So before Alex borrows another dollar, he asks one question. Is this debt working for me or am I working for it? Ask yourself that same question next time you reach for the card. It's the cheapest financial advice you'll get all year. 4. Financial products they don't understand. Alex's phone buzzes. A friend in the group chat. In on this one? Closes tonight. A screenshot of gains. 3 fire emojis. Alex's thumb hovers over send on a payment he can't fully explain. He types back 3 questions instead. What does this actually do? How does it make money? What happens if it fails? The chat goes quiet. Nobody answers. A few minutes later, someone changes the subject. That silence is the answer. Warren Buffett, arguably the most successful investor alive, built an entire philosophy on one sentence that sounds like beginner advice and isn't, never invest in something you don't understand. It saved more people from ruin than any stock pick ever has, and Alex just watched it work in real time in a group chat for free. Boring questions are the most expensive looking thing you'll never buy, and the cheapest insurance you'll ever get. Before we get to the 2 most expensive mistakes on this list, one warning. These next 2 don't feel like spending at all. That's exactly what makes them dangerous. 5. Instant identity purchases. Alex tries on a version of himself in the mirror, at the store, the watch, the jacket, the version of Alex that looks like he's already made it. This is money psychology at its most personal. The purchase isn't really about the object. It's about closing the gap between who you are and who you want people to think you are. It's worth naming what that gap actually feels like, because almost everyone knows it. It's the feeling right before you open a shopping app when you're bored, not when you need something. It's buying a version of confidence instead of building the real thing one decision at a time. Here's the uncomfortable part. Wealthy people buy identity too. The difference is timing. They buy the watch after the life is already true, so the purchase confirms something real instead of trying to manufacture it. Alex puts the jacket back, not because he can't afford it, because he's decided to become the guy who actually owns that life first. That feeling never lasts as long as the price tag suggests it will. You already know that, even if you bought something anyway last weekend. 6. Fees they can avoid without losing quality. This one is quiet. That's exactly why it's dangerous. A 1% annual fee sounds small. In a hypothetical example, assuming steady market growth over 3 decades, which isn't guaranteed that 1% difference on an index fund can cost an investor over $100,000 by retirement. Not because 1% is a lot in any single year, but because it compounds against you silently every year in the background for decades. An index fund, if you haven't run into the term before, is simply a basket of hundreds of companies bundled into one investment, built to match the market's overall growth instead of betting on any single stock. Think of the fee like a slow leak in a tire one. So slow, it should really come with its own warning label. You won't notice it today, you won't notice it next week. You'll definitely notice it 30 miles down the road, standing on the side of the highway, wondering when it started. Wealthy people don't avoid every fee. They avoid the ones buying them, nothing extra. 7. Their own future. Here's the one almost nobody counts as spending, because it doesn't look like spending at all. It looks like waiting. Picture 2 versions of Alex. One starts investing $300 a month at 25. The other waits until 35 to start the exact same $300 a month. At a 7% average return, the version who started at 25 retires with roughly double what the late starter has, even though the late starter didn't waste a single one of those 10 years. He just started the clock late, and the clock is the whole game. Every dollar Alex protected today is a dollar already working for the Alex, who hasn't shown up yet. A retirement account, an index fund, a Roth IRA, a retirement account where your money grows completely tax-free. And in many cases, so does every withdrawal you make from it later in life. That's the real target behind all 6 of the choices before this one. It's called financial independence, the point where your money produces enough income on its own that working becomes optional instead of required. Wealthy people treat that future person like someone real, because eventually he is. So here's your one concrete move tonight. Open your retirement or investment account and find the line that says expense ratio. If it doesn't start with 0, that's your leak. Fix that one number before you do anything else on this list. None of this happens overnight, and that's actually the good news. Alex didn't fix all 7 at once. He fixed one. Then, a few months later, he noticed a second one on his own without even trying. That's the part nobody tells you about money habits. They're not 7 separate battles you have to win at the same time. They're one small shift that makes the next one easier to see. If you only take one thing from the next 30 seconds, take this. Pick the one that hit hardest. Not all 7, 1. Fix that one this month and let it show you the next. So what actually connects all 7? Not restriction, not deprivation, precision. Wealthy people spend generously on what compounds knowledge, health, appreciating assets, their own future. They spend carefully on what doesn't. Comparison, unnecessary fees, debt with no direction, identities borrowed instead of earned. Before you go, which one of these 7 hit closest to home? Drop the number in the comments. You might be surprised how many people are about to comment the exact same one. And if this helped you catch even one leak you didn't know you had, subscribe, because next time we're breaking down exactly how long it takes to close that gap starting from zero. Alex checked his bank account earlier. The number looked fine. But now Alex knows what you know. It was never about the number. It was about where the number was quietly going, one small decision at a time.